Well, this is different.
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall.
Hey folks, Something in the Water here. We want to let everybody know we're starting a Patreon, and you can subscribe to that, and we will be having a bonus episode every month.
It's going to be a little bit different from the normal thing. And in fact, we're going to call it Something in the Water, the Deep End.
That's right.
You're gonna be able to catch us getting crazy on here.
Catch us with our pants down.
No. Got to draw the line somewhere.
Every episode we're
going to have some special guests, some craziness, and
sometimes it just may be me and Dave, but
we're just kind of talking about whatever. And the neat thing about it is it's going to be exclusive just to the Patreon subscribers. And it's only going to be like $5 to subscribe. And you can see the link below there. Go to that link and subscribe and just kind of see what happens. So this is, we really don't know. I mean, we're just kind of...
it's going to grow into all kind of things. So.
Yeah.
And we haven't even thought of all the things yet.
I mean, we're flying by the seat of our pants. Basically,
right.
Tonight's episode is supposed to be kind of like what it will be like. So who knows?
Yep.
Cheers. You got your drinks with you? Go, we do. Anyhow.
So we thought we'd sit around and shoot the bull and play a few songs.
Play some songs, some original music for you, kind of talk to you about what we was thinking when we wrote them, and just talk about anything. Another facet of the Something in the Water, the Deep End, is we'll be able to do Q&A, question and answers with your subscribers, and we'll be maybe doing some kind of special giveaways with some merchandise and just exclusive things, that you kind of like what we've been doing all along with our just
a little extra.
Yeah, just something a little extra.
Maybe a little edgier at times.
There you go. Yeah.
Or behind the scenes and whatever. And
we might cuss a little more. I don't know.
Something in the Water rated R.
Raw.
So what songs you been writing here?
I ain't been writing a whole lot. Now, I think, when this pandemic started about a year ago, I really got deep into the writing because we all retreated inward. And I think I did I had about 30 songs in that first 2 months of isolation. But again, my old motto is don't worry about it. They'll come when they come. And I had a few words stringed together just the other day, came out of nowhere. And so I wrote them down to be revisited later. What about you? Anything?
I've started writing a little more here lately, not the past week or so, but at the beginning of the pandemic, I thought, okay, here's my chance. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a whole lot of time on my hand, and that was like nothing. I think I hyped it up so much that nothing came out. I was writing a lot of riffs, but the words just weren't flowing for me. But in the past months or so, me and you've gotten together a few times, and we got a new project coming up.
Waycross Stagecoach.
Yeah.
I have stumbled onto this new website.
Nude website.
New website. And it's I think it's from Russia. It's .ru, which I guess that RU
Are you
means
communist.com?
Russia is OK. This is it. OK.ru.com, I guess.
Oh,
But
you sent me this
anyhow,
link.
yeah.
I didn't know what you're talking about.
It is great as far as going back and finding old movies in their entirety. There are several options on this website. I mean, you can type in the search bar, you can type in something from the 1920s, when film and sound first merged together, and there it'll be, Yeah, you might strike out every now and then on an obscure title or something, but geez, just about everything I've typed in there has come back a match, and of course, there'll be several options. You'll have to go down till you find the Americanized version, because I've tried to watch those Czechoslovakian overdubbed Czechoslovakian, and it just don't work. I don't understand the thing they're saying. It's like they got a different word for everything. And but anyhow, I've found this website, and it's old. You can type in an old movie and find it right there. So recently, I just been going back and rewatching a lot of stuff from my high school. The 4 years that I spent in high school, I could Google top movies from 67, 68, 69. And of course, there's Midnight Cowboy, Dustin Hoffman's early stuff, John Voight, Robert De Niro's first films. It's just
Mean Street.
incredible stuff. Really good stuff. No, I'm talking about a college film that he was in that was just like a project type thing. It was really great stuff though. And TV shows. I went back and found the old Maxwell Smart, Get Smart TV shows from 1965. I've searched for them on these streaming networks, Netflix and Hulu and all these other ones, which you have to pay, and but half of them, they're going to charge you extra to find these obscure movies and television shows, and I'm finding them for free on this Russia website. So
is this legal?
I hope so.
You're telling all of our listeners to go out
and nobody's come to the door yet. Mr. Griffin. And,
that's how they get all your identification stuff.
Well, so far I haven't bogged down in anything, but I was watching Elvis's movies from the beginning, which I think his first 3 movies were probably the best.
Was it Love Me Tender?
Love Me Tender, Loving You, Jailhouse Rock, and King Creole. Those first 4, and that was from 56 to 58.
It was all clam baked from there.
After that, after the Army, it was like went down. His music and his art went downhill in a hurry. I think
his weight went up, his talent went down.
John Lennon's famous quote was, "Elvis died when he joined the Army."
Oh,
yeah.
I was watching. I've been looking for this movie forever because there's one. This one's called Elvis Meets Nixon, and then and there's another one that's called Elvis and Nixon or something like that. But the first one was like from the early 90s, and it's got like, what's the I can't think of his name. Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett was a talk show host.
Yeah, he's on there. All these different people that
Yeah.
will come to, and they'll tell like what they heard happened when all this stuff went down. It's pretty funny.
You remember the year that Ian Dunlop, we backed him up at the Grand Parsons guitar pool, and he played that song that he wrote. Elvis was an ark.
Yeah,
That's the same subject matter.
about him going. And
I mean, Elvis was thick with Tricky Dick. He was just like this with Tricky Dick. He was wanting to become a member.
Yeah, but he didn't like. He got. It was like around Christmas. He got all mad at the family that the mafia went home. You know, his security guys and
the Dixie Mafia.
It was Memphis Mafia.
Memphis Mafia. Yeah,
Dixie Mafia is a different story.
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, that's how this movie goes. I don't know. They were playing it out two ways. Well, I heard this, and they'd play it out that way, and well, I heard that. But they all go home, and then I think Priscilla's daddy's like, "You can't keep spending all this money. You're not making it like you used to. You don't tell me I'm making the money, you know." And he gets mad and leaves.
And it's a real documentary.
Well, it's a movie. It's actors playing.
Actually, actors. Okay,
but it's pretty hilarious.
There's a real story out there where Elvis was headstrong to get Richard Nixon, and I think Nixon did deputize him or something like that.
But he didn't know what Nixon didn't know he was coming. He's like, "Hey, Elvis wants to see you," and like Elvis comes in there and he's got guns on him. He's like, "Take them guns," and he's like, "Well, I bought this one. I was going to give this one to President Nixon in the Oval Office." And he's like, "No." So he goes in there and he hadn't slept in 2 days. He's all peeled out. Elvis is. And he's like, "Man, this drugs has got to go, man. I want to help. I want to." He's asking for whatever he's calling this badge. He's like, "We don't have that." And then they give him something or whatever, and they took a picture, and I think that was it. But Nixon in the movie, anyway, he got all excited, like, "Yeah," because all the Vietnam protesters were, "Oh, this isn't good for my rep," you know. And he's like, "Oh, Elvis, he'll get the kids back on my side."
He didn't realize how far Elvis was.
He was already the loop. He was out.
Yeah, old Elvis. It's great stuff, though. I mean, that was my childhood, was Elvis, and those early albums. And I thank God that Daddy was cool and hip enough, even though I guess he was probably in his late 20s, early 30s. I see he would have been 30 years old and 57. So, yeah, and he was hip to Elvis. I asked him that question just recently. You know, I said, we never talked about this growing up, but me and my older brother Gary, 3 years older than me, we had these Elvis albums and 45s. Hell, we weren't old enough to buy them, so Mom and Daddy bought them because they were listening to them. They didn't buy them for a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old to listen to. They bought them for themselves. And sure enough, Daddy was stationed in Jacksonville at one point in his early Air Force career, and he would. They gave him a special Air Force station wagon. It was assigned to him. It had a serial number on the
Air Force station
tail
wagon.
fin, and everything. It was a beauty. I can still recall the interior of that thing, the seats and everything.
They had the pop-up seat in the very back.
There was a little pop-up
I love
thing.
it. My great-grandparents had
military thing.
Had like a pea green station wagon.
I think this one might have been some blue interior. But anyhow, he would head to Jacksonville early Monday morning and stay the whole week, and then come home the next weekend and just work down there. And while he was down there, Elvis did a show.
Oh, wow.
Several
so
shows.
Your dad saw Elvis.
So he actually attended an Elvis concert. He was He was hip enough. He was young 30s, but still. Me and my brother Gary was raised on Elvis, just like all the other kids in the world. and I can recall that King Creole movie and the album itself at home. Just lay there listening to that album over and over again and just studying it like I did when I was 16 with Crosby, Stills and Nash and Neil Young albums by that time, but I started doing that at a very early age, uh, and going to the actual movie theater and watching the movie. I got to I've got to relive all of that just recently with the Russian movie website, and I would advise you all to check it out if you're daring and like to live on the edge.
What's crazy is when you're saying I came up on Elvis, and I'm thinking, so did I. But like it was, I guess when I was coming up, it was like Elvis Day on TBS or whatever, and it was all the time Elvis on TV, like all the movies.
Well, it was twice a year. They'd do it in January for his birthday, and then they'd do it in August.
I felt like it was like every day. Elvis
and then they would do it in August to commemorate his death day. Because I can remember exactly where I was the day that he died. I was playing in a band in Panama City, Florida, and we were rehearsing that afternoon. It was a Tuesday afternoon in August. I can't remember the exact date, but we were inside the Sheridan on the beach, Panama City Beach, and we were learning a new song, and some guy burst into the nightclub. It's about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. He said, "Elvis is dead."
I'm like, Elvis
is dead.
He's dead. He's dead.
He's dead. It was news, It
was he like, running from door to door like the British is coming?
It was like
Elvis is dead. Elvis is dead.
Extra.
Wow.
And it affected us. I didn't believe how much it affected me, because by that time I had become like John Lennon and lost a great amount of respect for Elvis. Hell, I was, like I say, the early movies, the early albums, raised up on the good stuff, the deep stuff, the really good stuff. And then he kind of lost his direction, in the 60s. Even still, the movies like Kissing Cousins, Clam Bake, Girls, Roustabout, all them bad Elvis movies. Nonetheless, I went every Saturday, every time one would come out, we would be there. And they were terribly bad, but we didn't know any different till we got older and could look back on it. And then it was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Bad. And it's funny how his name was always Vince Langstrom or Burt Williams, Vance Blanston. It was always one syllable, 2 syllable. Yeah, but when he did die, right before he died, I can remember watching that satellite TV special.
Hawaii?
It might have been the one from Hawaii. It was maybe a month before he passed away. We were playing at a club in Macon, and I was sitting at a restaurant right up the road from the club, and watching on a little black and white TV above the bar there, watching this live concert feed, and he was so bloated, just sweat pouring down, just big jowls, and just it looked horrible.
I don't remember which concert it was, but there's one like how you're explaining where he's at a piano and he's just like drenched
in sweat. You can see he's just lit beyond. I mean, by that time he was doing stuff to get him up and to take him back down, and just out of control, totally out of control. And it was just a caricature of himself, and I had lost a lot of respect for him. But what amazed me was how I felt that afternoon when that guy came running in the nightclub. I mean, in the where we were rehearsing in the Sheraton on the beach that day that he passed away, and the feeling that overcame not only me but the rest of the guys in the band.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a 5-piece band that played behind a lead singer, Eddie Middleton, and Eddie was a fantastic vocalist, and Eddie was probably a good 5 years older than me, so he was really in that wheelhouse of Elvis, and he could sing just like him. So we just immediately set out to put together a medley for that evening, and it ended with the old American Trilogy, that Mickey Newberry thing. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. And glory, glory, hallelujah, and the big ending and everything. And I can, whoo, boy.
Yeah, I love that.
And I mean, that night, when we put it all out there for Elvis, it was something pretty spectacular, and I didn't know I was going to feel that way, but he was special. He was damn special. He just kind of lost his way, and he I want to say he lost his weight, but he gained his weight. He lost his way and he gained the weight. And I mean, can you imagine though the notoriety that
I mean, that's got to go to your head a little bit, and you got all the money and the. I mean,
well, even if it don't go to your head, it's just having to deal with
being the king,
being that person that you realize that your life is confined to this room and that motel and this plane, and it's the Beatles. I mean, anybody who was at that level, Michael Jackson, they all had to deal with that, and that's something that none of us will ever be able to remotely comprehend. Just the fact that your name is as famous as Coca-Cola and McDonald's worldwide. It's as recognizable. The name Elvis was as recognizable. It's like right up there with the top 3 brand names worldwide.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go to Japan and get a break.
You probably go to a village in the Amazon and they go, Elvis.
Yeah. even the Amazon.
Yeah.
Even the
loincloth.
Even the Sherpas. Yeah, right here. Folks, this reminds me of this actual hide of the abominable snowman. Which, if you'll, this is what I love about the Sherpas. Isn't that what they call them, Sherpas? The Nepalese, Nepal, the mountains of Nepal, where the phenomenal.
The phenomenal snowman.
Phenomenal snowman.
He's
Christopherson.
Nope, you need to put that drink down there, Dave.
No, what I love about the Sherpas is that they had the wherewithal to shorten that name because they couldn't pronounce it. I mean, it's a mouthful. I mean, you said it's they just shortened it to Yeti.
Yeti. Yep.
Smart. Sherpas was smart. Yeti.
Because Abominable Snowman's not a good name for a cooler.
No.
Where's that bottle? We bring it in here?
He didn't.
He didn't. I
No,
quit.
sir. He brought
Watch this. I'll be back quicker.
he brought a can of beer. Folks, we're not even going to take a break. This is how this rolls now. We just kind of, it's very casual, very unsophisticated. We're just, we're
deep in. It's the kiddie pool.
we ramble in, ramble out. Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to this. This is already kind of reducing me to a matter of
You still stammer?
insignificance and throw caution to the wind. I mean, just throw caution light media. Y'all can tell that. Okay, here we go. All right, now you see what it is, what it was, what it shall be.
Maybe the first song you ever wrote, Dave.
Oh God, I could probably do that.
I think you could. It was a Thursday. You got the memory of a elephant.
It ain't in my book. This is my original book right here, though. It's kind of a catalog of all the songs that I've written over the years, but it doesn't include all of them. Not those very first ones, those early ones. I did write a song for a girl that I dated from Blackshear, Georgia. Her name was Ann Bell. And I was probably about, I must have been about 18. And had my old brothers. My brother had got drafted into the Air Force, and they sent him over to Cornwall, England.
How about that?
Home of Ian Dunlop.
Yeah.
And
that's
this
where
would have
things got
been
weird.
Early 70s. So Ian
Was probably
there then, because you remember Graham went over there to kick the habit
Mm-hmm.
and stayed with Ian there in his fields of flowers, and that's cool. So my brother was over there probably when Graham and Ian may have been over there at the same time. Anyhow, before he left Waycross, he had started buying a Volkswagen van, a red and white Volkswagen van, and he had to leave it behind. So I took up the payments on that thing, and I can't even remember the story now.
I should have brought you some ice, huh?
What were we talking about?
Elvis.
Elvis. Somehow or another, it got to Volkswagen vans in 1972. Yeah. Well, there was something. Oh, yeah, the girl on Blackshear.
Yeah.
Folks,
The deep end.
The deep end.
Tune in.
Tune in. Tune in.
Drop
out. Drop off the edge into the deep end with us. Anyhow, so I had this old red and white Volkswagen van, and I started dating this girl from Blackshear named Ann Bell. And I can recall jumping behind the wheel of that Volkswagen van on a cold winter night. And heading over to Blackshear, Georgia to visit her and turning on the radio. And at nighttime, especially on them cold, crisp winter nights, you could pick up WLS out of Chicago on that AM radio station. And no sooner than I'd put that thing in first gear and headed out Dog Hill towards Blackshear, came this song in the middle of winter called Summer Breeze.
Summer breeze.
by Seals and Croft. And first time I ever heard the song, it was beautiful. And anyhow, yeah, I wrote a song for her, and it was called Annabelle.
But not Ann Bell.
Not Ann Bell, but it was called Annabelle because that sounded like something Edgar Allan Poe would have done.
Mm-hmm.
But that would have been one of my first songs.
You know how to play it?
I don't think so. Let's see. It was bad poetry. Oh, Annabelle. Something like that. How I love you so well. Only time will tell.
Annabelle.
You know, it's the same old. Bell, tell.
And that was the first song you wrote, or just one of the first?
That was one of the first songs. Probably one of the very first songs. Yeah. Yeah. It was bad.
At 15, maybe 16, 15. I got my first guitar at 15, so somewhere around there. I always just wanted to write songs. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about. I mean, I wanted to get good at guitar, but I wasn't like the lead guy sitting there practicing scales all day. But I don't even think I had a verse yet, but I was like, I'm working on something, to my buddies. It was Jamie Stewart and his cousin, Nathan. And Nathan, me and him always would just get on each other, just like give each other hell about whatever.
Yeah.
And so my song, I don't know how to play it or whatever, but it was like, listen to me. I've got something to say. And I'm like, that's all I got. And he's like, I don't guess you got nothing to say.
What year would you have been this?
Oh,
this
man.
About 16, 15?
Yeah, it was probably 88, 89, something like that. Listen to me. I got something to say. That's all I got. And he's like, well, I don't guess you got nothing to say. I was like, oh, I'll tell you. I'll show you.
Well, my stuff was definitely my early songwriting attempts were definitely inspired by what I was listening to at the time, which was the advent of the singer-songwriter movement. Was early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. 72, 73. And it would have been Cat Stevens, Neil Young, Crosby, Stills, Nash,
James Taylor, Jim Croce.
James Taylor, yeah, even Graham Parsons. Because I discovered Graham Parsons in 73, about a month or two before he passed away. And once we discovered him in July of 73, by then, hell, he had already completed his career, and he was soon to die.
Mm-hmm.
But by then, he had recorded the 2 solo albums. Prior to that, it was Flying Burrito Brothers. And prior to that, it was The Byrds.
So you had to backtrack.
I had all of that back catalog that we went back and grabbed,
Mm-hmm.
and it was definitely an inspiration on several songs in particular. And now, folks,
what you gonna do? This.
I'll be back.
Put the mic up to the door. When Dave comes back, I want to play a song that was the first song me and Dave co-wrote together, and we did a record. Yeah, he's locked out. It's all going to hell.
You're going to hear a mighty deep sound coming out of Bobby Peru.
Bobby Peru.
Wild at Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Will My Folk.
I was going to play a song, first song me and you co-wrote together. Do you remember what that was?
Your Eyes Are the Ghost.
Yeah, well, I just tagged you in it because I had a Facebook memory come up of me recording that a year ago yesterday.
Cool.
In the backyard here.
And that was a hell of a good little old song.
It was a song, one of the first songs I considered a song, or I still consider it a song. But I had it for probably since I was 19 or something, and I met you.
You had done some of this in Philadelphia, didn't you?
Yeah, well,
or was it pertaining?
It was after I came back, but it was so I was like 19. I'd just come back from Philadelphia, was writing about that experience or whatever. But I didn't meet you till I was 22, so it had to be around then, 22 or 23, that I never had a chorus or something. I couldn't get out of what I'd had going on in with the verses. And I think I had the chords to the chorus. I just didn't have any words. And
I remember
what was that?
we wrote it in my kitchen, I believe, or the dining room right there. At the
it was in the kitchen. I showed it to you.
Let's do it.
You cool?
Your eyes are the ghost, with your head hanging down, your mouth blew the words that took me from town. I seen all the lights, I gave up the breeze when I of my mind there on the street. Could see that city burning in my mind. Could feel your fingers slip away from mine. Strangers to a different state and jive.
Gentlemen to 1965. Ashes to ashes, blue velvet lashes, as she slowly sashes away. Dust into dust, like an old truck left to rust. Love slowly fading away. See that city burning in my mind. Could see your fingers slip away from mine. Strangers to a different state and jive. Gentlemen to 1965. Ashes to ashes, blue velvet lashes, as she slowly sashes away. Dust into dust, like an old truck left to rust. Love slowly fading away.
Ooh, boy, that was fun. That was probably the first song that we co-wrote, eh?
It was, because I was excited about it. I remember.
And then I don't recall if that opened up the floodgates or probably not.
Yeah, I don't think we just started writing together at that
Yeah.
point,
But over the years,
Over the years.
we have collaborated quite a bit, and that's not an easy thing to do.
that's over 20 years.
Damn.
Over 20 years of writing
Man.
together. And that's why we're starting the Waycross Stagecoach, because we're going to put out. I mean, I've released songs before that we've written together, a lot of them, but now we want to kind of hone in on.
Was that song going to be on this?
Yeah,
We had
Yeah.
already designated
that's on the
that.
list. Yeah,
Good. Yeah.
but we got so many, I don't know what'll make the cut. But
Well, there's some not so great, and others that I really think that we really nailed it as far as coming together of the idea.
what's crazy is, like, we'll get together and write one late night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do mean late night, and then I'll go home, or you'll go home, or whatever, who's ever's house, and I won't remember anything except we wrote a really good song, and you got it all documented. I never was good at that paperwork.
Yeah. It's just something that I've done all along. It's kind of from an early age. It started, well, before computers, I'd have these composition books with page full of lyrics and the chords in the margin. And then once the computers came along, I just sat there and typed it out. And even now, folks, this is antiquated right here. Even now, you got people with the iPads that attach to their mic stands right there in front of them with a foot switch here that you can actually scroll the words up and down over. Nice. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but so this is something in the water, the deep end, and you too can have. Well, this first one is kind of like a teaser out there.
This is the announcement.
We can attract some attention. Hoping that we can attract some attention and maybe entice some of you folks out there to become subscribers on our Patreon account at the link right down there.
Let's hope Justin can do that.
So,
won't you sing us a song?
let's see if I can pull one out of the hat here.
You got one in mind?
I was thinking about an old song that kind of being around you and Chris Ryder and nephew Graham Griffin. Y'all were how old are you now?
46.
46. So y'all are good 20 years younger than me. But being around y'all initially when I first met all of y'all, you pulled me up and out of kind of a funk that I had been in. I was working, buying a house, raising kids, working a job with the post office, and had given up music pretty much entirely because I'd get off work, come home, fall in a recliner and go to sleep. And my wife would wake me up to feed me. Then I'd eat and then go to bed and get up and do it all over again. So I didn't have time for music at all.
I didn't know that. I thought you were still doing music.
No, it was nothing like it became after I met y'all. I'll put it like that. Y'all reopened the door again, and it was then that I feel like my songwriting took a turn to a much more serious level of songwriting. The subject matter, everything that I put forth to the process and all was deeper and more genuine and everything, and that was on account of y'all. But
I felt like we got deeper after we met you, though.
Well, it works that way. We
were trying to keep up with you.
I don't know if I can remember this song or not without delving into the book here.
Old Delvin.
Let's see.
Delvin.
I got to see if I can remember the name of the song.
You better have a hefty
then-
music stand. You
And then,
got some concrete blocks to hold that thing. Milli
I
Vanilli.
remember the name of it now. If it's in here. Yeah, here we go. No, I just need to be able to glance at it here and there.
That's what she said.
Yeah. This is a song that I wrote in January the 3rd, 2001.
Wow. I couldn't tell you any date of anything. 2001?
You may think I don't mean this. It's been tearing me apart. This cold distance now between us, slowly wearing out my heart. You and I vowed forever to go the distance hand in hand. Here we stand, now or never. Nothing left but mislaid plans. Oh, I'm not the man I ought to be. We've caused each other our fair share of pain. My day is finally come. I never thought I'd see you off the chain. Where does love go when you lose it? How do angels fall from grace? For the sad one who refuses, someone gladly takes his place. No, I'm not the man I ought to be. We've caused each other our fair share of pain. The day has finally come. I never thought I'd see you off the chain.
Yes, sir.
That was the one that kind of turned a corner for me, you know.
I remember that. Phew. I was like, oh, we better step it up, boys. Man, I'm taking something like, dog, that was off the chain. Like taking a saying like that and making it that. Oh, wow, man. Never thought I'd see you off the chain. That's good. It's good stuff. One of my favorites. You don't play that enough.
Well, I have a tendency to not play originals when I play out.
That is a
And I've
sin.
been hammered for that and crucified for that by my wife and
Me.
you.
Why don't you? There's nothing wrong with playing a cover, but you've got more songs and better songs than anybody.
It's just that when you get right there, when I get right there in front of a restaurant
Brown Eye
crowd,
Girl.
it's hello.
I think that's Kitty.
Come on in.
Here's our special guest.
Special guest for this week, it's Kitty Carlisle. Kitty Lemon. But anyhow, it is.
I know what you mean about like when you.
It's like when they don't know.
According to what gig
They don't
is,
know this song.
According to what gig it is, sometimes you got to.
Yeah, if you get the response, it's wonderful, and then it's like
But when
it
you-
opens. But
when you got dark, sad songs, it's
Yeah.
hard to play them in a
Yeah.
bar and everybody's trying to have a good time.
yeah,
But I love that kind of stuff. But if you're in the right situation,
right.
it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, folks, this is a sample of what you're gonna get when you join the Deep End
On Patreon.
on Patreon. Something in the Water, the Deep End Patreon podcast with Uncle Dave, Sean Clark, and all the little voices in the back of our heads and the little demons that sit on your shoulders, and angels and demons. We're gonna have them all. They'll all be
Our first guest will be the devil,
old Scratch.
old Scratch himself.
Well, y'all do show us a little bit of love, and we'll see how it goes from there. I mean, if we see these subscriptions start rolling in, keep them cards and letters coming. If we see them subscriptions start rolling in, then we'll know that we own to something here, and we hope that we are. We appreciate all of y'all over this past year supporting the Something in the Water podcast. We're up to our 13th, 14th episode now with that. And that has been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot more.
We will continue down that path. We got a lot more great musical guests from all around the state of Georgia and Florida. And we're bringing more of those to you twice a month now. And now we've got Something in the Water Deep End Patreon account, and we hope you'll join us there as well. So until the next time, I'm Uncle Dave Griffin.
I'm Sean Clark.
And we'll see y'all.
See y'all down the road in the deep end.
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate.